Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday, almost 9 a.m. And I was thinking about doing this yesterday, but I just didn't have the motivation or desire, really. I'm starting to get to it today. Starting to get the desire and motivation back, but it's taking time. It's taking time. So people are like, what are you talking about? Well, I have a warning for everyone, and it's kind of an unusual warning, but it's something you might want to heed and take to heart, take to prayer, whatever, uh, because this is an unusual thing. Something very unexpected happened to me on late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. It was probably around 1 a.m. Thursday morning. Very, very unexpected. Um, I'm I'm sleeping, and suddenly I get these very, very intense abdominal pains. I mean, stomach pains, really. I mean, very intense. I mean, severe. And I'm just like, what in the world? You ever had that kind of pain that comes upon you, just unexpectedly, especially if you're sleeping, it wakes you up. And I'm just like, I couldn't figure this out, and I'm in a lot of pain. And it's like nothing I'm doing is relieving this pain. And it's the kind of pain where you pray and you repent for everything you've ever done in your entire life, okay? It's just like, just in case you forgot something somewhere along the line or whatever. I mean, you're just like, Lord, please remove this pain. I mean, because I can't do this. I mean, and I'm sorry for everything, anything I've ever done to you to offend you or anybody else ever. That's the kind of pain it was, because it was not going away, and it was very intense, sharp pains. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on here, right? I couldn't figure it out. And it wasn't so much I was trying to figure it out as it was I wanted the pain to go away, just being honest, right? So I, after praying and repenting and pleading and everything, I finally dawns on me. It's just like I need to eat something just so I can. I mean, let me give you a warning here, okay? If you're eating something now, drinking, whatever, or you just have a weak stomach, don't listen to this, okay? But I mean, I had to because it gets a little graphic, not horrible, but a little graphic. But I mean, I had to eat something just so I could throw up, okay? I mean that's what I had to do because and people would probably be thinking right now, well, was it something you ate? Was it a stomach virus? Was it this? Is it that? All I know is the food I ate a few days before, it was leftovers, and I was perfectly fine. Um, and my food had pretty much, and I'd eaten several hours before. It was like 1 a.m. Thursday morning, when this happened, and my food pretty much digested. I mean, I don't think I ate it, so I didn't eat anything out that was unusual or, anything that would cause this kind of pain. As a matter of fact, when I did eat some bread just so I could, get this out of my system, the only thing I was able to get rid of was the bread. So so it seemed to me that whatever I ate before was pretty much digested. It didn't come back up, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, so after doing that, and it took a while because I had no appetite, and I still don't have a whole lot of an appetite today, even. But I had no appetite, and so I mean, I'm just like nibbling on the bread until the point where it's finally enough to where I can get rid of it, right? So I feel better afterwards. Not great, better. But I mean, I was wiped. I was like just not just from the experience, but just I was just tired, really, really tired because I hadn't slept. Because by the time I was able to get rid of this, it was like 5 in the morning. So I was pretty much up, four hours or whatever in severe abdominal pains. And the only thing I could compare it to is when I was very young and dumb in the Navy. I did something really stupid one time. A lot of things stupid, but this was really dumb. I just didn't know any better. Like I said, I was young and dumb. I didn't think about it, and I had my toenail removed, and I um I took some, and I was prescribed Tylenol 3 with codeine, and like a dummy, I took that on an empty stomach, and I was in a lot of stomach pain. I mean, I was just like, oh, my stomach, my stomach, my stomach. And so one of the guys, they were just like, what did you do, man? And I told him, he said, well, you dummy? He goes, you can't take that on an empty stomach. He said, go and get something to eat. Well, the chow hall was closed at the time, the mess hall, whatever, and I'm just like, so what we had was these vending machines in the barracks, right? And the only thing I could get was Dinty Moore beef stew. He's like, you got to do what you got to do, right? He said, yeah, you got to eat so you can get rid of that, man. You took Tylenol 3 with codeine on an empty stomach. I mean, that's not good. So it's just tearing you up. So that's what I did so I could get rid of the abdominal pain I had then. Because I had that beef stew, and not exactly a fun fact, but a fact. Since that time, I hate beef stew. Okay, getting rid of beef stew in that way was not fun. That and the fact that when I was in the desert, most of the MREs, the meals ready to eat that they gave you, most of them were beef stew for the most part. Beef stew or chop suey or some other garbage, right? Some stuff that was like full of calories, right? So I hate beef stew, okay? To this day, I don't like beef stew. I just don't eat beef stew because I've had really bad experience with beef stew. Eating it all the time in the desert when I didn't have a choice, and then because of that experience with the Tylenol 3. So that's the only thing I can compare it to as far as the abdominal pains that I had. And so, fortunately, they went away, but I took Thursday off. I called off. I said, there's no way I'm going in. It's not happening. So I explained briefly what went on. But then it was curious to me, and even since then, I went in on Friday, I went in yesterday. I kind of regretted that, but I needed to because, it's one of those things if you don't go in, then you come into a disaster on Monday. And I needed to clean up the mess that was left for me for Friday, or else I was really going to be hating life on Monday. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure we've all been there before. So even though I didn't really want to, I kind of needed to, and I kind of regret it, but I got the weekend to recover. So I'm just trying to rest up, drink plenty of water. I'm on solid food now, but I don't have a great appetite. So I'm just taking my time, taking it easy, eating solid food, drinking lots of water, whatever I can, endure, kind of stuff as far as food goes. But just taking my time, lots of bread, stuff like that. But just, I had some soup before. I'm getting kind of tired of that already. But anyway, just taking my time, recuperating, But I just could not figure out what happened. Why did this happen? I just, and I'm the type of person that's like, I'm just like, what's going on? You know, it's just the kind of person I am. Well, the weird thing is, I started looking at my phone or whatever, and it was a video, but it was also an article that popped up. I didn't know anything about this, and this is where the warning comes in. Almost 10 minutes into the video for everyone. Because if you experience something like I did or have, or maybe some other thing, I don't know, something that you can't explain, in your sleep or out of your sleep or whatever, and if it happened to occur, if it did on Thursday the 20th, I might be able to explain it. It was the equinox. And most people are like, well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, This is the thing about the equinox, okay? There was an article that came out that apparently a lot of people they go during the equinox, which is on March 20th, and they go to Stonehenge, and there I'm sure there are other things, but it's a high occult holiday. It's a witching ceremony. It's a time of basically debauchery and decadence and probably spell casting and things of that nature. And I didn't understand it all, but then Bill Schneblin, Dr. William Schneblin, if people are familiar with him, if not, he is basically an expert on the occult, and he has a channel, and I shared his his short YouTube clip to the post the other day, as well as the Stonehenge article, and he kind of explains that this is just a high occult witching holiday. Whether people believe in it, don't believe in it, whatever. All I know is I had these severe stomach pains, and like I said, I don't believe it was anything I ate. I think my food was digested from earlier in the evening. I hadn't had pains like this since what I was like 19 years old or something, of this magnitude in my abdominal region. I couldn't explain it. But then when I heard his video and I read the article, I'm like, did I get attacked? I don't know. Just seems kind of weird that it was just early into Thursday morning, the 20th, like late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning, that I started dealing with all of this. So I'm telling you guys about this, guys and gals, about this, in case you suffered something like that the same night, or you know of someone who did, there may be an explanation for it. Um, and it might be more spiritual than physical. And I don't know for a fact, but it does make sense to me. And, or if there's another equinox, witching, occult holiday coming up anytime real soon. And I don't know, honestly, off the top of my head, if there is. I'm sure there probably is. I mean, I had no idea about March 20th, the equinox. I knew about other things. I know about today, for instance, 322. And I knew about, I guess there's another uh, half eclipse or whatever, I think, at the very end of this month, March 29th or something like that. So I know about some other things, that come up, the spring equinox, the summer equinox, fall, and so forth. So, but I just didn't think about March 20th as far as being the equinox. I just didn't. And so it's just, I guess, I just didn't correlate the two. So anyway, this is the warning. If you did, I mean, it's after the fact, but for the future, you know, if you are attacked, I guess be aware of the equinoxes, be aware of these witching occultic holidays or whatever, these days that they really ramp things up. I mean, I guess, what was it? Kansas lawmakers are trying to stop a Satanist group from doing something, having a black mass or whatever on the state capitol steps or whatever. But I guess they're in a fight to try to stop them from doing this, and there was an article about that. So I mean, it's real. Okay, the spiritual warfare, it's real. The intensity, the just the ongoing battle, the ongoing fight, it's real. Whether people want to recognize it or not, they want to realize it or not. I mean, be careful about what you listen to, what you watch, what you bring into your home, what you allow into your home. Uh, be careful of all these things. I'm reminded of a story I heard several weeks back from Jen Faircloth, talking about how This man had a daughter who was very rebellious, very, promiscuous, just making bad choices, bad decisions in her life. I guess she was a teenage daughter, or maybe young adult, or something of that nature. And, just really making horrible choices. So he asked the pastor to come to his house and pray for his daughter, pray for his family, and so forth, or just to pray in general. And the pastor says, "Well, I'm going to come to your house if that's okay." And he's just like, "Yeah, yeah, that's fine." So he invites him over, has him come over to the house or whatever. And when the pastor gets there, he goes to the daughter's room, and when he looks into the room, he sees all of this occultic type stuff and posters of this and posters of that, and just everything that the girl is into, the young lady's into. And pastor walks right out, and the father is just like, "Well, I thought you said you were going to pray. I thought you said that you were going to help my family. I thought, he's like, and he just looked at the dad and he goes, "I can't pray out what you brought in." I was like, "You're the priest of your home, you're in charge here, of your daughter. And if you're going to allow her to have all of this and to bring all this into your home, into her room, I can't pray out what you brought in, what you allowed in." So I was like, wow, that's a good lesson. Something to keep in mind for those of you who have, teenagers in your home, or young adults, or whatever, or, grandparents raising, grandchildren, whatever else. Just be careful about what you allow in and what your kids, grandkids are into, whatever it is, because I know you have very limited control in certain ways, depending upon their age and, the family situations, the family dynamics out there. So I get it. I understand how difficult it can be, but as much as you can, try to prevent garbage from coming in, I guess, because you could be dealing with a lot of stuff. So, why did this happen to me? I don't know. Has it happened since? No. Has it happened previously? No. All I know is it wiped me, man. It absolutely wiped me. I still feel kind of wiped. I mean, I just don't have a lot of energy. I'm trying, like I said, trying to eat healthy, drink plenty of water, getting my energy back, getting plenty of rest, but I still feel wiped, you know? And it's just like, wow, just crazy. And then, on top of that, I mean, some people may know, some people may not know, you know, if you're a boxing fan or whatever, even if you're not a boxing fan, it's just kind of interesting. I know people pass on at all times and everything. I get that, but apparently George Foreman passed away last night at age 76. Unknown causes, they say, but I was a big admirer of George Foreman. I watched his movie, the movie that was made about his life a few years ago. I guess it was a couple years ago now. You're looking for a really good movie, family movie, good movie that people can be encouraged and buy and really enjoy, even if you're not a boxing fan. Check out Big George Foreman, the movie Big George Foreman. Very, very good film. But anyway, not based on his life. Just a good movie, just a good story. But I don't know. I mean, just a lot of things going on. And the last thing I'm going to get into before I shut this thing down here. God Soldiers Watchman Hank put out a really, really good stream yesterday. I shared it, and I don't know if anybody else, saw it or whatever. I didn't get any responses from that or from the stuff I shared about the equinox or Dr. Schneblin or anything of that nature. Maybe it's because people just didn't see it, they don't understand it, or they're not interested. I don't know. People are busy doing a lot of other things. I get it. It's a very busy time for a lot of people. A lot of things happening. Wars, rumors of wars. New York Prepper doing like a 24/7 live stream on everything that's going on in Iran and sinking of the vessel, the Iranian vessel, and our carriers going out there. I get it. There's a lot going on. We're a world at war. I get it. I understand. But back on the home front kind of thing, Hank put out a really good stream, and it's true. It's true. And I texted him. I said, I understand exactly what you're talking about. Enough is enough kind of thing. And it doesn't really go hand in hand with what I'm talking about, but at the same time, enough is enough when it comes to all of this begging for money, where people don't actually work a real job. I guess they figured doing YouTube videos is a real job. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't think I ever will. Call me old school, call me old fashioned, call me whatever. But I think working a real job is when you actually get up and you go somewhere and you do something. Now, I understand people work from home or whatever else, but that is for a certain organization or agency or, department or, company that has them working from home. I get that. I understand all of that, and that's still work, but it's work from home, like in an office setting or whatever. But people that just do nothing but make YouTube videos and, are social media influencers or whatever else, and all they do is just put out content after content after content, then expect to get paid for it. It does not make sense to me. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I never will. You do it on the side for money or whatever, I guess. Okay, like a hobby, that you get paid for, I guess. But when that is your sole source of income, I don't understand. And then you're expecting people to pay you for that as your sole source of income. It makes no sense to me. Because I always think to myself, what if the internet goes down or they finally bring in the Starlink system and they change all the rules and they ban this and they ban that and like they already are, there's no free speech. There isn't. I know people who have been banned from X because they've been X'd out. Their Substacks have been canceled. They say the wrong things on YouTube. Their channels get taken down. They get strikes for weeks or months or whatever else. They have to go to other platforms. Or it's just like, how is this your job? I don't understand. And neither does Hank. And I don't blame him. And it's just like, you do this out of the goodness or kindness of your heart, and you're sharing information or whatever else, and you're putting stuff out there to help people out. Okay, I get it. That's one thing. But if this is your job and then you're expecting people to pay you for making videos and putting out information, and most of the time it has nothing to do with sharing the gospel, it has nothing to do with trying to get people saved, repenting, turning to the Lord, or anything of that nature. There may be some aspects of that, but then people are expecting to get paid for sharing this and sharing that and da da. I haven't heard one person say a while back, that you're eating at my table for free. I'm like, are you serious? So you're up on YouTube and you're putting out whatever devotion or whatever teaching or whatever this or that, and then if people aren't paying for it, you say you're eating at my table for free. I mean, how arrogant is that? I just like, I don't get it. I don't get how people elevate themselves to certain levels and positions to the point where they think that they're supposed to get paid for putting out information and putting out things. I don't get it. What happened to our society to we're at the point where we're at where men feel that they can be at home doing this instead of working an actual job, instead of going and laboring, instead of instead of getting in a car and driving somewhere and going to a job. Call me old fashioned, like I said. Call me old school. I'm sure some people are thinking I'm being very judgmental now and mean or whatever. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I can understand if we were in a Great Depression or something, but we're not. We're not. There's still plenty of jobs out there. There's temp agency jobs. There's lots of things that people can do to make money. They always cry and whine about not having money. Well, go find a job, go get a job, and you'll have money. It's not rocket science. I just don't understand it. So I was texting with Hank about this, and I was just like, man, I totally agree with you. I get it. And then on top of that, it's like all of this division over stupid stuff, just dumb, dumb stuff. People arguing and fighting over nothing. And most of that is on chats and live streams and stuff that people put up, expecting to get paid for. Most of them, not all of them. And then they come in and they do their chat, and then they leave their comments on the live streams or whatever, and they cause discord and division. It's pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic. Think about it. Where would we be if there wasn't this social media, where people couldn't be a social media influencer, or they couldn't do chats and live streams all the time? I know some people would be very depressed and very disappointed by that, because that is where they do find their fellowship, their community, and they hope to, pray for others and be prayed for, and this is how they come together and so forth. I get all of that. But what if it ends? What if they stop it? What if they just say that's enough of this, and we're all going to the new system, whenever that is, the Starlink or whatever it is, and only certain people can be on it, and people can only say certain things, and blah, blah, blah. Then what? So I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Is it worth it? All this division, all this stupidity, all the craziness, people arguing and fighting and just saying stupid stuff, and and just being cruel, and just causing all kinds of division and discord. So I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I get it. I get why people isolate. I get why they just like, I don't want to have anything to do with this anymore. And they go off and they do their own thing, and then they isolate themselves. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I'm saying I understand it, because either people are going to have to come together and respect each other and love each other and support each other and help each other. And if you can't if you disagree on something, do it in a civilized manner, and say, hey, can we discuss this a little further, or this is why I don't see it this way, or this is why I disagree with you on this or that, and be civilized and loving and Christ-like about it, or just stay the heck away from each other. Just avoid each other, just completely avoid each other, because that's kind of to the point where I'm at. I just avoid a lot of people now. I just like, no, I don't need this, don't want this in my life. There are certain people I have community and fellowship and friendship with, and there's other people just like, no, no, you just, it's not worth it. It's not worth my sanity, and it's not worth my peace. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the division and the interference in my life, and just the constant, I don't know, just the constant nagging, for lack of a better term. I don't know, just the it's just like, leave me the heck alone, kind of thing. So I understand where Hank was coming from. I mean, I'm going deeper in it with it than he probably did, but I get it. So, because I think that may have something to do with the spiritual attacks as well. I mean, because that division and that discord and all of this stuff, it can just wear people down, and you know and it opens up gates, it opens up portals, for lack of a better term, for the enemy, I guess you could say. And so, like I said, I really had to think about what was going on here, and I'm just like, wow, it's the equinox. I've got these severe stomach pains. Does one equal the other? I don't know. All I know is it happened on that particular time, on that particular date. Haven't had it since then, thank the good Lord, but it's wiped me, man. It's absolutely wiped me for the last few days. So speaking of wiped, I'm getting wiped now just doing this video. So I'm gonna get more rest, drink more water, eat some solid food, and just try to get my energy back because it's just drained me over these last few days. So well, what can I say? We're here on this particular weekend and all this craziness, the Florida Keys burning. I mean, I'm not laughing at them, but it's just crazy. Just fires and just cattle mutilations, people shooting cows and horses on ranches, and it's just crazy, insane stuff. Tesla being attacked, and wars and rumors of wars, and just craziness, just constant insanity. The Heathrow Airport thing, I guess that's back up and running now with a power outage from the fire there. And what can I say? The warnings are out there. They've been out there. They continue to be out there. We get through this weekend and everything's cool by the end of it. Amen. Hallelujah. If not, won't surprise me a single bit because it's just getting really violent and intense out there in a lot of different ways. So keep the full armor of God on. Keep your armor up. Keep your shield up. Keep your sword up. You know, keep pushing on. Keep moving on, and just do what you can each and every day. Stay strong out there. All right, I gotta go. I gotta get some more rest and just try to get my energy back as much as I can. All right, y'all take care. Have a good one. Bye bye.